Hi everybody, this is Gert Louw. Should I do a cutting phase or a building phase first? Now this is the most frequent question I get asked by people that start out on the road of transforming their body. And now, cutting and building phases and the alternating of these phases plays a very important role in helping the body to cope with the intense training environment. When you're in the building phase, for example, you place serious strain on your joints and on your tendons and on your muscles, and your body struggles to cope with this increasing of the weights every 2 weeks in this building phase cycle. It can only take so much until the point that it will actually break. So that is why you need to do a 3-month building phase and then allow the body in another 3 months during a cutting phase to recover, recuperate and strengthen. Now just to clarify the terms, what exactly is a cutting phase? That is the phase by which you try to drop your body fat while you're hanging on for dear life to your muscle mass. This is also the phase where you would generally train lighter, you would do higher reps per set, and you would not train to the point of failure. During this phase, you would consume fewer calories. The phase usually lasts about 3 months at a time. It can go as low as 4-5% body fat during this phase, and then you get real hardcore competing athletes. They would even go as low as 3-4 body fat percent. That's only for very short durations. What is a building phase? That is a phase by which you slightly increase the body fat levels to allow your body to effectively put on muscle mass. When the body fat is too low, let's say below 8%, the body actually struggles without anabolic steroids. It struggles to put on muscle mass. 8, 9, 10%, that is sort of the golden area where the body can really put on nice muscle mass. In this phase, you train to failure at low reps on each set, let's say around about 6 to 8 reps per set. You consume slightly higher calories than in the cutting phase, roughly 10%. The anabolic crowd would consume much higher. The building phase is usually 3 months in length, and I advise that you don't go lower than 8% body fat. Now back to try and answer the original question. It is not such a simplistic answer. I think the best way that I will demonstrate the answer to the question is by displaying a couple of scenarios, and then you will have to choose which scenario suits you best and then go with my recommendation or your own conclusion that you draw after the video. First scenario, when your training status is beginner to moderate, your body fat levels above 10% and your goal is a shredded muscle body. Well, considering your goal of a shredded physique and the fact that you are not an advanced athlete and that body fat levels are above 10%, it is a clear sign that you should start with a cutting phase. In fact, I would say that if your body fat levels are over 15 or 20%, you should strongly consider an extended cutting phase until such time that you drop below a 10% level before you start alternating between the phases. Training status: beginner to moderate, body fat levels 8 to 10%, goal shredded muscle body. For this scenario, the freedom of choice is basically yours. Depending on how much you want that shredded look, I would suggest you decide. If it is all important to get that shredded look, well, then start off with a 3-month cutting phase and then alternate with a 3-month building phase and repeat. If it is not that all out important, then nothing stops you from starting with a building phase in this scenario. The fact that you are a beginner to moderate athlete, however, would suggest that the cutting phase could be a better option to start with, since you might not have all the techniques of the exercises fully under control, and heavy intense training might put you at risk of injury. Training status: advanced, body fat levels 8 to 10%, goal shredded muscle body. This is exactly the same as the previous scenario, with the only difference that this is an advanced athlete here. Due to this fact, this person will have strengthened tendons and joints, and he should have the exercise technique well under control. These facts would lead me to suggest that such an athlete might rather want to start with a building phase, although you have complete freedom of choice. Training status: advanced, body fat levels 8%, goal shredded muscle body. In this scenario, the athlete is already in a shredded territory. Anything below 8% I consider shredded, unless it is a hardcore athlete that really want to go down to, let's say, like a 5% body fat levels. The better choice here would be to do a building phase. Training status: advanced, body fat levels above 10%, goal muscled body. In this scenario, the aim is just to get a muscled body. Let's call it a rugby player kind of look. Body fat levels are not such a great concern for a person that aim for this. Plus, he is a rather advanced athlete, so he knows his technique and he knows his exercises and he knows what he's doing. Since body fat levels is not of that a concern to him, I suggest he can start off with a building phase and from there onwards alternate every 3 months between the cutting and building phases. Now everybody, I hope this clears it a little bit up for you. If it's still confusing, don't hesitate, email me or contact me. I'll try and clear it up for you. If you want me to, I'm doing coaching on personalized body transformation systems. Please have a look at the link that I put on the page now. And if interested, let me know. Cheers everybody. Grow. Gert Louw signing off.